I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number one.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I will take High School Musical with my fifth and final pick because it is a sports movie. You do got to get your head in the game. I love High School Musical. I love musicals. Sports and musicals can coexist in this beautiful world. What a beautiful, beautiful movie. Even though High School Musical 1 is not even the best of the High School Musicals.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There was some sad news coming out of the WWE. Michael Jones, also known as Virgil, passed away. He's a Virginia Union alum, so he graduated from an HBCU. He got his start in Memphis, right?
Oh, man, you're absolutely right. He started in Memphis in 1985.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
10 feet ahead of you, catch me is something you'll never do. I turn around and I level you, no motivation is needed. Look, I put myself on the pedestal, this is incredible.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to witness history tonight at the 2024 NFL Draft, because barring a surprise, Big Bet Bennett, something that has never happened before will happen tonight. I'll tell you what it is momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Jessica Benson is going to join me. She, of course, is the host of Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. She usually joins me on Fridays. She ain't going to be around tomorrow. So Bennett was nice enough to ask her, hey, you think you can come in on Thursday? She said yes. She'll be here. I'll talk NFL draft and all sorts of stuff with her. Jessica Benson in studio about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Jess, I'll take a break, come back. We'll do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Villanova Guard TJ Bamba is scheduled to visit University of Memphis this weekend. That's according to Jason Munns from The Commercial Appeal. I'll tell you a little bit more about TJ Bamba. We'll do that in about 40 minutes. Chicago Bears, not only are they picking first overall tonight in the NFL Draft, they have published renderings of an enclosed stadium they plan to build right by Soldier Field. $5 billion. That's what it's going to cost. Looks nice. Looks nice. We'll show it to you in just a bit. Good news for Tom Cruise. Good news for Tom Cruise. He's reportedly on the possible boyfriend list. That's a quote. Possible boyfriend list for supermodel Arena Shayk.
Is that Bradley Cooper's old girlfriend?
Yeah.
I thought so.
She's put together a list of men that she would consider hugging.
Okay.
And Tom Cruise made the list.
Oh, okay. That's not surprising.
So congratulations to the star of Top Gun. I'll give you more details on this situation, developing situation. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Reigning NL Cy Young winner Blake Snell has been placed on the injured list with an adductor strain. Could miss around a month, so that's not great for the San Francisco Giants. I'll tell you more about that a little later on in the show. And Mike Trout And the Angels, they're up to their old tricks. They're up to their old tricks. He's leading the big leagues in homers. He's got 10, but his team is already 5 games below 500, struggling once again. I guess this is just going to be this guy's career.
Rinse, repeat.
I guess this is just going to be how it goes. I'll give you some more depressing numbers for Angels fans during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out and call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start 2024 NFL Draft because the first round scheduled for tonight, television broadcast. It's going to start at 7. You can watch it any number of places, ABC, ESPN, NFL Network. It's a 3-day event. They get everything they can out of it. Day 1, though, only features the first round. So tonight we get 32 picks. It's going to start with Chicago making a pick. And unless there's a trade, it's going to end with Kansas City making a pick.
It's typical.
In between, 30 other players will be selected. And barring a surprise, USC quarterback Caleb Williams will be the first player selected, first overall, by the Chicago Bears. When that happens, it'll be the second straight year a black quarterback has gone number 1 overall. Third time in the past 6 years that a black quarterback has gone number 1 overall. 2019, Kyler Murray. 2023, Bryce Young. 2024, presumably, Caleb Williams. And I only bring this up because this used to be like a real thing in the NFL. Big Bet Bennett, are you old enough to remember when taking a black quarterback number 1 overall was just something that like literally did not happen?
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Like, you ready for this? My oldest son is almost old enough to remember because it wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that long ago when what routinely happens now, what will happen tonight, what happened last year, what will after tonight be something that has happened 3 times in the past 6 years. It used to never happen. Not too long ago. Do you know who the first black quarterback to ever be selected number 1 overall in the NFL draft was?
Oh, that would be the great Michael Vick.
The great Michael Vick. In 2001. Is that crazy?
A little bit, although that was 24 years ago at this point.
But in 2001, we had still never had a black quarterback selected number 1 overall.
It's kind of wild, yeah.
It happens all the time now. Never happened. Never happened then. Think about this. Even though we're about to get a black quarterback selected number 1 overall for the second straight year, it used to never happen because black men were often told that they couldn't play the position, in part because they were often labeled not smart enough to grasp the technicalities of the position. That was a real thing that people thought, you ready for this? In my adult life, and I ain't that old. I ain't as old as I look. And in my adult life, I was out of college and still no NFL franchise had ever picked a black quarterback number 1 overall. I was already out of college. It had never happened. Again, you can say, yeah, a long time ago. Not really. Not really. And some of this stuff still like lingers. NFL insiders and executives, we talked about this yesterday. As recently as last year, suggested that CJ Trout might not be smart enough to play that position. That was just last year. Still, the Texans took him. And as a rookie, he was NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year and a Pro Bowler. So seems smart enough to me. Seems smart enough to me. So again, tonight, black quarterback expected to go number 1 overall. That's USC's Caleb Williams to the Bears. And then according to most mock drafts, LSU's Jaden Daniels is expected to go number 2 overall, which means tonight, a black quarterback should go first and second in the NFL draft for the second straight year. Do you know how many times that's happened, Bennett?
One other time.
Never.
Oh.
We've never had this.
Oh, yeah, because Stroud wasn't second.
No, he was.
Oh.
But you went back to first and second last year, first and second this year.
Yeah, okay, got it.
We've never had first and second.
Having back-to-back.
In back-to-back years.
Gotcha.
That has never happened in the history of the NFL draft, but it will happen tonight. Again, barring a surprise. So tonight we'll make history, barring a surprise. And it'll serve as a reminder on some level of like how far we have come, or the NFL has come. Don't lump me in there with them. I ain't got nothing to do with this. But it should serve as a reminder of how far the NFL has come in the way that it evaluates black quarterbacks coming out of college. These days, it's perfectly normal for a black quarterback to emerge as the consensus #1 overall pick. It's happened this year. It's about to happen for the third time in a 6-year span. And then before that, of course, we had Jameis Winston in 2015, #1 overall. Cam Newton, 2011, #1 overall. Jamarcus Russell, 2007, #1 overall. But again, the first black quarterback getting selected #1 overall, it didn't happen until 2001. Michael Vick, 2001. Less than 25 years ago, what's going to happen tonight and what also happened last year had never happened before. You realize this? We only had our first black quarterback selected #1 overall in an NFL draft like 7.5 years before we had our first black president of the United States. That's insane. Insane, like, without context. Actually, undeniably crazy when you look at where we are now relative to what we just used to ignore. The numbers are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
After tonight, follow me here. 7 of the past 24 #1 picks in the NFL draft will have been black quarterbacks. 7 of 24. That's 29.2%. 29.2%, nearly 30% of the past 24 NFL drafts after tonight will have started with a black quarterback being picked #1. Now we do it about 30% of the time over the past quarter century. Before Mike Vick was selected first overall in 2001, there had been 65 NFL drafts. 65 times we did this, all right? I just told you after tonight, 7 of the past 24, the #1 picks will be black quarterbacks. Before Mike Vick became the first black quarterback to ever be selected #1 overall, we had 65 drafts, and it never happened. 65 never happened. After tonight, it will have happened 7 times in the past 24 drafts, 3 times in the past 6, 2 years in a row. Progress. But those numbers are still embarrassing. Just an embarrassing reminder of where we were. Again, not too terribly long ago. Serious question. No great answer. How many black men do you think were denied even the opportunity to play the premier position in American sports simply because of the color of their skin?
I'm sure a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no great answer. I don't know that you could figure it out. But look at how many black quarterbacks emerge as consensus #1 overall picks now, and realize that for 65 years before Mike Vick, it was more or less an unwritten rule. You just don't do that. That's just not something you do. Can't do that. 65 drafts in a row. Never happened. Now it's about to happen for the second year in a row. 3 times in the past 6, 7 in the past 24. And I hope the Bryce Youngs and the Caleb Williamses realize like what's happening to them simply did not happen to quarterbacks who look like them as recently as 25 years ago. I hope that's not lost on them. It shouldn't be glossed over or taken for granted. Yeah. What will happen tonight is a big deal still. Maybe one day we'll get to a point when it's not. But for now, it still is. Beyond that, what else are you looking forward to tonight? What the Titans do at number 7?
Yeah, I mean, I've told you, I like seeing. I love the draft. We've talked about this. I love the draft. I like seeing who goes, even though it's usually chalk at this point. I still like seeing all the guys go in the first 10 picks. Why not? As far as the Titans go, like I've had my mind pretty much set on Joe Alt, the tackle from Notre Dame, just because that's who everybody has said that they're going to take. But now there's kind of rumblings that Harbaugh might want to take the best offensive lineman in the draft.
You're not getting caught up on some rumblings, are you?
I'm just saying. So basically where I stand right now with the Titans is I'm cool with Joe Alt. Like, we need to fix the offensive line. It was one of the worst in the league last year. If he's gone, I don't think I want to reach on another offensive lineman. I want one of those receivers, man. I want one of those receivers.
You like receivers?
Yeah, I like receivers.
I saw somebody who works in the NFL, and I think because I looked at the replies, and perhaps their numbers might have been a little off, or maybe it's a debate, like, is this guy a bust or not a bust? Was this guy a good pick or not? But the point the person was making is that the safest thing you can do in an NFL draft, what do you think it is?
Take offensive lineman.
No.
Oh.
In the first round, you're going to spend a first-round pick in terms of hit rate. Like, you're going to spend a first-round pick on this position, and it usually hits more so than any other position.
Not offensive line. Receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the top ones are always good.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's rare that a top 10 receiver is not. Yeah, and again, they produce instantly. Those guys are day one starters typically.
Yeah, but because like
always now.
Yeah, because line up.
Yeah.
Go be fast.
Yeah.
Go run your route and be fast. Like that. Like what was Odell Beckham?
Right.
Jamar like all these guys are immediately
good. You're right.
And like if the numbers bear that out, I don't know why as a franchise you wouldn't put more of an emphasis on that. Like these guys always hit. And then you know what you got? You've got a receiver on a rookie deal who can be like your number 1 or number 2 guy.
Yep.
And it helps you pay your quarterback. Plus it takes care of your quarterback. And then eventually, like, you can't sign him, so you franchise tag him and it gets all complicated. But that's the deal. First round picks as receivers tend to work out as much or more often than anything else. It's similar to, I used to talk about this with the NBA draft, when you had that roughly decade window where players were going straight from high school to the NBA. So it starts with Kevin Garnett. LeBron's a part of that. Kobe's a part of that. I did a project one time because every once in a while, like a Kwame Brown or some other person who was picked very high out of high school would be a bust. There's somebody, name escapes me now, but I think he was picked by the Mavericks, and it was just like a disaster, like off the court stuff. And they would, folks would always hold up like Kwame Brown or some other bust, and they'd be like, this is why you don't want to take high school players, because like, look at this. And the truth is, if you went and looked at all of those drafts, every draft that involved, starting with Kevin Garnett until the one and done rule was put into place, every draft that involved high school players being picked by NBA franchise, if you went to those drafts and then just said, okay, let's list all the high school players, how'd this work out? Let's list all the college freshmen, how'd this work out? All the college sophomores, juniors, seniors, international prospects. Let's break them down into groups like that. High school prospects, college freshmen, college sophomores, college juniors, college seniors, international prospects. Let's lay it all out over a decade. Do you know what had the best hit rate by far? Not even close. High schools. 18-year-olds coming straight out of high school. That's how you end up with Kobe Bryant, Jermaine O'Neal, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James. I did a project one time where if the Grizzlies in that window would have done nothing, I mean,
I don't even want to hear this.
Don't bring anybody in to work out. Don't send anybody to any game to scout or evaluate. If you would have just, and this is true not only for the Grizzlies, I just did it for the Grizzlies. You can do it for anybody.
Yep.
If you would have merely, every time it was your turn to pick in the draft, walked to the turned in a card, and David Stern walks up there, and you know what he says? With the whatever pick in this draft, the Memphis Grizzlies are selecting the best high school prospect available, whoever it was. If you would have just done that, you would have had the best roster in the NBA. Not even close. Future Hall of Famers.
That's wild.
Everywhere. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do is just give me the best high school player available. So it ran counter to this perception of, like, look at Kwame Brown. Okay, sure, look at Kwame Brown. Look at Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, Jermaine O'Neal, like LeBron James. Like, it was the best. And apples to oranges, different sports, all that. But receivers might be that thing in the first round for the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's why, like, and I get it, quarterback's the most valuable position in the league, so I understand why quarterbacks are going to go probably in the first 3 picks of this draft. But when we were talking about Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm like, dude, if he's the best player in the draft, why is he not going until number 4 or number 5, right? Like, and I get it because quarterbacks are more valuable. But, if you're the Chicago Bears and we think Caleb Williams is going to be awesome, but we know Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be possibly a Hall of Fame receiver, I don't know. It would make my decision not as clear as it always is.
Well, that was part of the debate, and they clearly reached their decision, and they'll either be right and congrats, or they'll be wrong and you're all fired.
Right.
But part of the argument was, would you rather have Caleb Williams and whatever, or Justin Fields and Marvin Harrison?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a reasonable thing to want, They've decided. They made their pick. We'll see. But you ready for this? Prediction.
Yep.
And I want to be clear. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Oh, I like this.
I don't know anything about it.
Let's go. I'm ready.
I don't break down film.
Hit me with it.
None of that stuff. Just I know trends.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Marvin Harrison's going to be picked. Wherever he is picked, the franchise that does it will be thrilled.
Absolutely.
They'll be glad they did it.
Yep.
They'll look up in week 7 of his rookie year and be like, can you believe we got this guy here? Whoever takes him going to love it because he's the best, and the best at that position almost always work out.
Yes.
That's as much NFL draft breakdown as I got.
I like it. I thought that was a good breakdown.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on the Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison thing. I think I'm on that bandwagon.
Yeah, well,
if that would have happened.
If they're right, then they'll get to keep their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the type of thing is, if you're right about this, you'll keep your job. If you're wrong, everybody gets fired.
I mean, in fairness, the Bears have never hit on a quarterback, so I don't know if the stakes are as high with that franchise. People might not get fired if it's wrong.
They'll get fired. If it's wrong.
Probably.
They'll get fired because this isn't one of those things. First off, because it's complicated. You're making tough decisions in multiple places. The first decision you got to make is, do you move on from Justin Fields to get Caleb Williams? Right? You got to make that decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made that decision, and then you know what your next decision is?
What?
Do you draft the weirdo Caleb Williams? Because that's the new decision, right? He's kind of weird, but he's weird. That's what people say. Can a weirdo lead your franchise from that position? Maybe I'll ask Jessica Benson that.
Let's ask her.
I'll ask Jessica Benson that.
Maxwell in concert. The Serenade Tour. October 16th at FedEx Forum. Maxwell. With special guest Jasmine Sullivan. And October London. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Maxwell Live.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese is rough. I don't know if you've been there in a while. They look like they're trying to go to business and they can't.
All new material.
They filed for bankruptcy and they're still open. They called Blockbuster and they're like, how do you get out? We want out.
Nate Bargatze. Friday, May 31st, FedEx Forum. Tickets available at FedEx Forum Box Office or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents. Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
This is an actual good shoe.
Yeah, it looks like
this
a good
is a
shoe.
real good shoe.
What you think about him, KJ? She likes Cheetos.
Like Cheetos?
Yeah,
You like
nice.
Cheetos?
You like
For
Cheetos?
kids, yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean. For kids,
For
1,000%.
kids, yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, if I was still playing basketball, I played in brightly colored shoes. I wore pink shoes a lot of the time, or purple shoes. Like, I like that. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Don't worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
The minute you get into a brand new relationship, like magic, you know who really notices just how happy you are, guys? Other women, not your woman. Look how happy he is. I bet I can change that.
Friday, May 10th, FedEx Forum. Get your tickets now at fluffyguy.com. Don't miss a Memphis. Don't worry, Be Fluffy World Tour.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built for Tough studio, and just we're very aware that we have stream issues. My understanding is that this is very hard to watch live right now, but that it'll be uploaded later without all the, stops.
I think it's more fun.
Oh, you're having fun?
Did you have fun this morning?
I'm just glad we're not alone.
True story.
That
Swear
is,
to God.
misery loves company.
I actually, Bennett knows sometimes, sometimes I'm not, I ain't always in here, say, an hour early.
Sure.
I do almost all of my prep at home.
Me too.
But
it feels better that way.
But I just got out the door. Here's the truth. I was hungry, and I thought, man, I'll just go sit down and have breakfast somewhere and finish, preparing for the show. And then as I was driving, I was like, no, I'm not going to. I'd rather have a nice lunch after the show than have a breakfast right now. Just having all these arguments with myself. Yeah. So now I got here early. In the car, I'm watching you.
Yeah. How'd that go?
I was about to throw my phone out the window because I was I swear I had this thought. Because my camera on my phone, I busted this thing, so my camera's kind of goofy.
What'd you do?
Probably that. Probably that.
I have a really great protector.
Yeah, I've never been that.
Yeah, man, that thing does not look like it's protecting anything.
I've never been that careful,
You got to invest in an OtterBox.
I know, Bennett.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm already thinking about my. So this morning, here, true story, hand to heart. I'm trying to watch you, hand to heart. I wanted you to understand how serious I am. I didn't think you would take me seriously unless I put my hand on my heart.
I pledge allegiance.
Okay, I pledge allegiance to this story.
Yes.
I'm already frustrated with my phone because of my camera situation, and then I'm trying to watch you, and it's just freeze. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to eat breakfast now. I guess I'm just going to go to AT&T and get a new phone. I almost went and got a new phone this morning because the Wi-Fi is messed up here at FedEx Forum.
Yeah. Everyone knows from the commercials, I couldn't survive without Wi-Fi. So what are we doing here? I think it's funny.
You would be the first to go.
I'd be the first. Rumor has it.
I know.
Now my new ad with you is me talking about my ex-boyfriend not being able to cuddle because of a baseball injury. I'm like, God, I hope he never sees that. I'm sure he wouldn't, but if he did, it would just be absolutely humiliating.
I mean, I'll send it to him.
Okay,
if you
great.
Get me an Instagram link or something.
Yours started to freeze while talking about Caleb Williams and the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Ours really started to freeze. Ours froze the whole time, but I felt like it really took hold of the show when we were talking about Caleb Williams and the Bears. So maybe it's Caleb Williams and the Bears.
They keep saying he's weird.
No, he's not.
Oh.
Make it stop.
Oh, okay.
Watch the broadcast cut out,
this.
right, when it's like, the Chicago
this.
Bears select.
Watch this.
Oh, that'd be wild.
Caleb Williams is weird, or he's just a USC Trojan.
Caleb Williams is Gen Z. I think this is actually an interesting conversation that a lot of us old people are going to have to reckon with, because whether it be Caleb Williams or his name's escaping me, who's the Duke player who painted his nails and makes the TikTok dances?
Jared McCain.
Jared McCain, who I loved.
He's great.
Great personality, just such a fun person. Yeah. Or I even thought reading Billie Eilish's Rolling Stone.
Oh yeah, that was something.
Sure was.
Yeah.
They just operate differently. And I don't think this is just famous people, be it athletes or celebrities. I think that's just how kids are. They are so conditioned to accept everything and just be authentically themselves, whatever that means, and they really don't
Kids,
give a damn.
It's very easy and I'm obviously older than you.
Sure.
But older folks to look back at a previous or at the next generation and have nitpick them to death. And I guess you can if you want to. But I just, broadly speaking, comparing young people today to where we were when I was a young person, they're so more advanced in understanding and
there's so much more
accepting
empathy.
I'm really, there are things I know young people dealt with when I was a kid that you just don't deal with anymore.
Yes.
If you were gay in high school when I was in high school, that was way harder than it is today. And also, if you a mixed race couple in high school, that was a major thing. Keep in mind, I grew up in Mississippi too. Now nobody blinks. Nobody would blink at any of that stuff now.
In certain communities, maybe, and I try not to regionally because it really just depends on the school and the group of kids. I think sometimes, but you're right. It is so different now, and so I don't think any any kids or young people are looking at Caleb Williams and saying, this dude's weird. He's just what they're used to.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not saying, like, he ain't the only Gen Zer in this draft. It's filled with Gen Zers, and they ain't saying Joe Alt's weird or Jaden Daniels is weird. They're saying this guy specifically, there's something a little off with him.
But I think with Caleb, what I saw is somebody who not every athlete is going to be interested in straddling the line between being an athlete and maybe being someone in the entertainment industry, and being at USC doesn't help that, or does help it if that's an avenue that you want to go down, because like Caleb Williams was on the cover of GQ. Caleb Williams was wearing edgy fashion. Well, I mean, he was in a dress, and he had no issue with it. And when that edition of GQ first came out, no one really attached to it. But then it was after he started, people caught on that he was painting his nails, and then he cried to his mom. And then it's like, well, he also wore a dress. Like, what a weirdo. Yeah. And instead, I think it's just representative of somebody who has interests outside of football. So if you want to put a knock on it, maybe he has interests outside of just being a traditional football player, and his locker room will be full of non-Gen Zers too. Right. But I do think it'll be very interesting as we see kind of like the melding of generations of athletes, where there are some people who are doing things that might exist outside of like the heteronormative that were, especially with big athletes. Sure. And now maybe they're not all like that. Like I even think of like Russell Westbrook has flirted in that territory for a long time.
And this is exactly the way I'll go. Because I guess you can have interesting conversations about if you are, and I don't even know what the word weird means as much, but if you are different than the rest of your locker room.
If you defy a stereotype, whatever that is.
Can you lead from that position in that sport? Like if other people want to have that conversation, I'll listen to it, I guess. I don't know that I could reach any definitive conclusion, although I will tell you that we used to have conversations all the time in sports, like, what do you think would ever happen if gay athlete was out in a locker room? And it was like, ooh, and you know what? And we got it, and nobody cared. And it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody blinked. It was never an issue. So my instincts are, it is not nearly as big of a deal as some people might make it out to be. And ultimately, the way Caleb Williams is viewed as an NFL quarterback, and within his locker room, is he awesome or not?
Right.
If he's awesome, all this stuff will be celebrated.
I've seen so many people
and if he's not, then people will point to it stupidly.
Right, exactly. And I don't know Caleb Williams' sexuality, and so like everyone's free, like do whatever you want. But I've seen so many people joke like, oh, gay rights rest upon Caleb Williams being a future Super Bowl winner for the Chicago Bears, and that's so stupid, but it also has some truth in it, because if he's awesome, then you're going to see people who would have never considered painting their nails before, they'll do it, because that's how we operate. We are a society that is driven by like the idols of our sports teams, or the idols within music or the entertainment industry. And if they are really, really successful and they start doing something, and especially supporting like your team and the sports element of it, you'll start doing it too.
Oh, you shooting sleeves because of Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old.
The gritty.
There you go. Like every 7-year-old in Memphis either can do the gritty or thinks he or she can.
Many think they can, so you can't.
Yeah.
I tried to do it yesterday, and I said, what am I doing?
I've never tried.
Congrats.
I don't think it doesn't feel like something I should even attempt. But
that's very self-aware of
But I can watch my kids and their friends, and they're all out by the pool or at the baseball practice, whatever. But my 7-year-old, he's now got a sliding glove that he puts on, like he's Ronald Acuna or something. He does not need it, but he's seen it on TV and thinks it looks cool, so he wanted one. Yeah. And so like, yes, you do.
I was obsessed with Carmelo Anthony for a period of time, and I wore a headband, and I did not need a headband.
Right.
But I wanted to wear one.
Right. So that's a real thing, and sure, like we could look up, and wouldn't this be a beautiful thing? We could look up. And all quarterbacks are just painting their fingernails.
Everybody's painting their nails.
I'll paint mine.
You're painting them.
I don't know that I've ever painted my fingernails. I mean, I would, though.
You could do a clear polish. You would.
Of course I would.
I don't have any.
I'll do it today. I'll do it right now.
I'm not sitting here.
You got some paint? Let's do it right now. Let's do it now.
GCM manicures. Stream is frozen. Let's do manicures for everybody. I do recommend everyone getting a pedicure at least like once or twice. Some people can't handle when they scrub the bottom of your foot.
Tickles me.
I think it feels great.
I don't think I get ticklish.
I think it's an enjoyable time. But and it's also the thing where it's like, No one's asking you to paint your finger. You can if you want to. But Caleb Williams
I think
is not
I do want
staring
to.
down the world saying, you all have to paint your fingernails.
What if he was, though?
How weird would
That's
that
a
be?
LA.
What if he did?
That's
at
a
it-
LA thing.
What if he did at his introductory press conference in Chicago tomorrow, presumably?
Yeah.
He just shows up and he's got like, he's painted his fingernails like Bears colors, and then he's like, and just so we're clear,
If you're a real one,
if you're a real one,
you'll paint your fingernails.
it's time to
too.
paint your fingernails just like mine.
I just think it's so funny because this notion of like, oh, he can't be a real man. Like musicians,
Of course.
rockers have been painting their nails for years, and they have gotten laid time and time again. They've had no
Harry
problem
Styles,
whatsoever.
Harry Styles.
Dude, every single dude in LA paints their fingernails.
You
I
ready?
wouldn't say every day.
Most of them.
Bennett,
What?
most? That's like 51%, Bennett. 51% of men in LA are not painting their fingernails.
I was in LA last year.
Bennett was in LA
And I
last
saw a
year.
lot of painted fingernails.
I have
Okay.
a lot of friends who still live in LA that I don't think have
Okay.
yet crossed into the painting their fingernails. They'll drink green juice, but
I
they
love
won't.
that-
They
I
won't
love-
paint their nails.
I love that Bennett tried to take a stand on nails in LA. Like, this is where he decided
Tom
to put
This
his
is
foot
an
down.
LA thing.
Tom Sandoval paints his nails.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We're basing everything on
The only thing
Real
Bennett knows about
Housewives?
LA is Tom
not
Sandoval.
even Real Housewives. What is it?
Yeah, but
The
like
Valley.
Valley.
Harry Styles paints his nails.
I'm not gonna use Harry Styles. He lost me with the whole Olivia
Wilde
situation. That was
Why?
just too much.
It was too much.
It
Why?
was just too much. I don't know.
What did you? Because you felt like he took another man's woman.
I guess.
I mean, he did.
Yeah, Jason's poor Jay. But then the whole Jason Sudeikis thing got really weird with it too. They were serving each other papers
Made me
in
sad.
public spots.
Yeah,
As a
made me
child of
sad.
divorce, it made me sad.
Because I bet you those are two reasonable people, and they made each other unreasonable. I bet you they're two
That's
great
what divorce-
people.
That's what divorce does.
and
to
they make people. That's what bad relationships do. They make you act in ways you could not
crazy.
imagine. You get a little
Yeah.
crazy. What's the craziest you ever got?
Ooh, what a good question.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done that you look back on it
I'm
and
not
you go,
having you bait me into
and you
this.
go, I cannot believe I got brought to that place.
This isn't even that crazy.
I'll be the judge of that.
I can't. No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you off air.
In a relationship
Yeah.
that is starting to get a little sideways,
Yeah.
what is the craziest thing you've ever done that you look, and I'm not asking you to confess to a felony, I'm just saying, where you look back on it and you go, I can't believe I said that or did that or whatever.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to say it
Yeah,
on it.
I have one because I went through a period. I'm not gonna say the one that I thought of, but something I did do. I wrote a 150-page Word document book about this relationship that I was convinced I was gonna be a bestseller when I was a freshman
I don't
in
mind
college.
that. I did something like
and
that
I
before, too.
I had my mom read it, and it was a lot was in it.
Oh no.
And my mom came back and she was she handled it perfectly as a parent would. Like, hey, I'm really proud of you for doing this. This took a lot of work. You put a lot of your heart and soul into this. Would you want this to be published? Are you confident that 10 years from now you would want other people to read this story? And I really thought on it. And I said, I'll wait. I'll tune it up. And now, oh my God, if I had ever attempted to get that out in the open, I would be, it like puts an ick feeling in my stomach.
Dude,
That was nuts. But I thought I was going to end this dude.
I've
I was
at
like,
some
"Oh."
points in my life written in a journal. This was a long time ago as a child and or as a teenager and gone back and read that stuff.
Oh, it's awful. You're always the
Oh
dumbest.
my
I wrote
God.
a song.
You're always, yeah, of course.
I really.
I mean, you're always the
who is
dumbest.
this
Taylor Swift
person?
too?
But I've done that kind of thing. Again, not 150 pages, but
Yeah.
hey, let me get some stories down and some ideas down
Yeah.
and whatever. I've done that.
Yeah.
And I think it could be, even if it goes nowhere, just the process of doing it is
So
kind
cathartic.
of yeah, like therapeutic, and it makes you. I remember feeling like I need to get these things out. And it never went anywhere. Like I wouldn't even know where to find it now. Thank God. But do you ever? Because this is Taylor Swift's life. This is say Conor Oberst's life.
I was just thinking about this because of
These
that
are
album,
young
yes.
people who put their emotions and thoughts and stories out into the world, and they're there forever. Yeah. I'm assuming Taylor, well, maybe not with Taylor Swift, because I would assume that there's probably something she's written when she was young. She's like, God, I wish I wouldn't have said that way. Or
she's made so much money off of it at one point. Like at what point
Yeah.
does it cross
I will
over
say
into
that-
I was able to capitalize so much on this.
Well, she
Maybe it takes
It's why I
the-
respect her re-releasing the old albums because I'm sure that there's
She did-
times
she
when
did
she's like,
change-
"This is cringe."
She
Yeah,
did change
that's
the lyrics
true.
to one song, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she re-released an album because it was like slut shaming. She was slut shaming some other person
Yeah.
in the song when she was
Yes.
young. Like she does her best. I don't know this song, but she does her best work in the bed, something like that, in
Uh-huh.
the sheets. And she changed it when she re-recorded the album. I guess because she had grown and matured and realized slut shaming's not a cool thing to do.
It was Better Than Revenge
Yeah.
was the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Hey-
they, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
so
slut
she has made
shaming, and she
changes.
updated the lyrics to eliminate the slut shaming. That's
Mhm.
progress.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's on growth.
Do you see Matty Healy?
He doesn't care.
I thought he handled that pretty well.
Yeah.
I thought he handled it pretty well. Did you see this?
What
Bennett?
else is he gonna do?
I did.
Well, first off, I don't. Okay, the first thing he said, for people who don't know Matty Healy, he
Lead singer of the 1975.
and
Slightly
former
problematic.
boyfriend of Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And although I think most people going into this believed that the album was going to be largely about Joe,
A lot about Maddie.
a lot about Matty Healy. So
So
he's
part of me wondered if I was Travis Kelce,
Uh-huh.
I would have zero concern about Joe, and I would maybe just have the smallest sliver of wondering about
okay.
Maddie
So this is
Healy.
interesting. I was thinking about this. If you're Matty Healy,
Mhm.
how do you feel about the past week? Because on one hand, like she, in a song clearly about you, says she thinks you belong in prison.
Yes.
That ain't great. You wouldn't want your ex-girlfriend saying you telling the world she thinks you belong in prison,
No.
would you? That ain't something you like to hear from your ex-girlfriend. So that's tough. Probably don't like that part of it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think the perception, and you'd have to tell me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
but I think the perception was Taylor Swift broke up with Joe after 6 years. And then it was like a little fling with Matty Healy because he's fun and he's the opposite of him. And it was always nothing and never going to be anything. It was just like, bounce back. And what this album seems to suggest, she really loved this guy.
If you go back though, it wasn't just a fling, as I have tried to become more
They had
fluent.
previously dated.
Yeah, in 2014.
Right.
And like she wore a 1975 shirt, he wore a 1984 shirt. There were moments at concerts with both of them where they were seemingly singing to the other person. So there's roots there.
Sure.
Which leads me to believe that this has been an on and off again. And on and off agains can be the worst. I wrote my book about an on and off again. Like those are the ones that it's not a simple like single breakup heartache, which those exist too.
Sure.
But when there's someone who has enough of a hold on you, or you believe enough in that relationship to keep trying,
Mhm.
I think those can feel heavier. And so I think, I don't know.
So here's
I'm
what
not
so I was trying to put myself in Matty Healy's shoes here.
Yeah.
On one hand, I don't really like my ex-girlfriend telling the world I belong in prison.
On the other hand, she's still thinking about
on the other hand, what my ex-girlfriend is telling the world, contrary to what I think most of the world assumed, which is this wasn't some fun little thing for me.
Yeah.
I really love this guy. I really wanted to be with this guy.
Yes.
It hurt me when so many of you were judging me or feeling sorry for me or were worried about me because this is the guy I want. If I'm Matty Healy, I like that part of it. I could have a mixed reaction to this. So he gets asked yesterday. He's walking out of wherever he's walking out of, and paparazzi's right there, and they walk up on him and they're like, Matty, and he's like, hey there, bloke or whatever they say, and he said, they said, what did you think of Taylor's diss track, of your diss track? And he was like, my what? He acted like he didn't know or didn't hear, and perhaps it's true. And then he realized what they're asking, and he's like, I really haven't listened to that much of it, but I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if haven't listened to that much of it. Like,
but I'm sure it's good.
that's
It was
perfect.
nice.
You can't get into
You nailed the moment.
nail the moment. You can't fight with this woman. You can't fight
No,
with the
you
people
can't fight with
around
her
this woman.
fans.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter. Like there's another scenario where Matty Healy could say, "Oh yeah, I did hear it," and I signed an NDA because everybody who has ever hugged Taylor Swift has to sign one, so I can't talk about it. But just know
I don't belong in prison.
I don't belong in prison, and maybe I know somebody
And I am
who
not
does.
the smallest man who ever lived,
Yeah.
okay? There are much smaller men.
And I do measure up in some ways, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
way, and he might be right, But you'll lose that every time. You know what you say? More or less what he did.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, I don't know that I would have said, I haven't really listened to a lot of it because that sounds not believable.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could say something about, of course I've heard it, and Taylor's amazing. She's the best at what she does. So
And
I'm glad
if
the
he
world is
has
enjoying it.
listened to it, as I assume he has, but Daddy, I Love Him, I think would
That's the
confirm
song.
a lot of things.
And that's the big, that's going to be a weird one.
Uh-huh.
Because
It's Daddy, I Love Him, but it really feels like it's directed at the fans.
yes.
Yeah.
So she's bitching at her fans for bitching about her.
Yes.
But that's
For
the
essentially tanking that relationship.
But that's the biggest stadium song on that album.
Yes.
Like in terms of if she was going to close a show, if she's going to close,
I've had a lot of thoughts.
just in the way it sounds, nothing about anything else. Just
You don't
in the
think,
way.
but I Can Do It With a Broken Heart?
Yeah, that'll work too. That's like the karma, like the yeah.
It's grown on me.
Yeah.
I regret to inform the world.
I like the
that song has
concept
grown
of
on
that.
me. Yeah.
But the one that sounds like the stadium and the big lights and it's just going to boom.
Yeah.
It's that one, but it's a song where she's expressing frustration with her fans.
I'm having his baby. No, I'm not.
What a
But
wild
you
deal.
should see your faces.
What a wild deal.
Yeah.
If I'm Maddie Healy, I kind of like the idea that like that song makes me like, hey, okay, it didn't work out. Maybe I'm at fault. Probably both played a role in our demise. But hey, at least she's telling the world I wasn't just some fun little thing. She loves me. This woman loves me.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
I'd like to be loved.
But if I'm Travis, how do you feel if you're Travis Kelce?
I think you just have to. This is what you signed up for, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't. You knew she was going to write another album, and you knew it was probably going to be about
You knew there
people
was at
before
least
you.
going to be. I was going to say there were a couple guys to get through.
Yeah.
Before your final.
Now maybe the next album's something different.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting. Rolling Stone. One of their music critics wrote an article and it's like, hey, Taylor Swift's amazing. These songs are great. She cannot do another album with Jack.
Yeah.
They have to, this is what they.
My husband even said that the other night.
Like,
I was
this
like,
is-
God, you've listened to every podcast and read the same articles. But
Yeah.
when somebody who isn't following it to that degree is making a comment about Jack Antonoff at the
Right.
dinner table,
Right.
it made me understand she probably can't, really, really can't do it.
They just
again.
need to understand, when you guys get together, you make amazing stuff, but it's all the same. And you gotta.
And it's reached its course.
You gotta bring somebody else into the room.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Looking forward to that. Hey, I heard you this morning. In between, I heard part of you. I heard parts.
What did
You mentioned the
Here-
Jinx.
Jinx? GB.
Oh, we're watching the Jinx.
Yeah.
Are you
we're
on
in.
it? Okay.
We're both watching the
Yes,
Jinx.
2 episodes in.
My wife's caught up.
How did you miss it when it first came out?
So it was right. It was the year I graduated from, after I graduated
'Cause you're
from
busy.
college.
Yeah, this
and so I think I was just busy. I went through a period where, especially working in my first local TV market, I had time for very few things, which is weird to think back on because TV is such a big part of my life. Like I would never miss the Jinx today. If the Jinx came out, I'd be #1 ready to go with it. But there was this 3-year period where I'd kind of tapped out of things
I went
for a
through
while.
my college years and probably first 2 years out of college. So let's say 18 to 24. I bet you I watched no TV, none. I was in a bar every night, literally every night.
I was still watching Scandal.
Yeah, I did
So
watch
that was
Scandal.
so that was
I
my
did watch
appointment. I'm trying to think of
but
appointment
but
viewing.
Scandal would have been later for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scandal.
I never watched Seinfeld, never, and,
I never
and it's
watched
just
either
because
of
it didn't line up with my lifestyle.
Yes.
And this wasn't I'll just stream it tomorrow.
Different time.
Yeah, different time.
Right.
You had to actually watch Seinfeld.
Like when
So
I was a
never
kid, I
did.
watched.
'Cause I was
Desperate
busy out. I was out
Housewives
not
and
being a
Brothers
nerd.
and Sisters and
Wasn't trying to sit at home every night like a nerd and watch TV.
loser.
You think I'm a loser? No, I was in
Couldn't be.
I was in the bars every night like a winner. You know, in the bars every night.
You weren't painting your nails.
Doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Accomplishing
But
absolutely
anyway,
nothing.
with the Jinx though, I don't know what parts of the conversation you heard, but halfway through, I
Very
believe it was
little
the
of it.
first episode, I was flabbergasted because there's this movie that I've always had a strange, those movies you see that just they weren't critically acclaimed. Not a lot of people talked about them, but All Good Things, starring Kirsten Dunst and Ryan Gosling. And someone from the movie, I think it was a director or a producer or something, had come to one of my classes at USC, and my mom and I were in New York that Christmas, and I said, we have to go see this movie, All Good Things. This person said it's going to be really, really good. And so we went, and my mom was like, what was that? And I was like, that is the greatest movie I have ever
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's based on Robert Durst.
Okay.
Or loosely based on
Understand.
Robert Durst. And so now I want to go back and rewatch that movie because it took me back to that time, and I'm sure it did not age well at all. I haven't heard anything about
Most
it
of
since.
us don't.
When you're,
Most of us don't.
Kirsten Dunst has been doing a pretty heavy press tour, and I never hear her talk about all good things. Hear her talk about Bring It On a lot. Hear her talk about Marie Antoinette a lot. I don't hear all good things.
I've never heard her talk about all good things either.
But the story's crazy, but I'm purposely not Googling it because I have a fringe memory of what happened,
Right.
but I
Same.
don't
I'm
have
not
the
either.
confirmed memory of what happens, and I want to let it breathe.
I told Bennett this the other day. It just started when it was out, hearing the buzz about it. But I was busy. It was March Madness and all that stuff. But I had a flight from New York to Dallas, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to watch the Jinx thing.
Yeah.
I think it was even on the TV in the Delta flight. Wow. So I started watching it, and then I watched the whole thing straight through, however many episodes it was, 6, 8. I went to bed at 5 in the morning in a hotel room in Dallas. I stayed up
Because you
all,
binged the Jinx.
could not stop watching it. It was so
He's
good.
so creepy.
It's amazing.
His eyes
He's a weirdie. He's weirder
are
than Caleb Williams.
like devil eyes.
He's weirder than Caleb Williams.
When we use the word weird, I
Yeah.
think it can very accurately be thrown around at people like Robert Durst.
Yeah. He's he's undeniably weird guy. There's it's just like when you're done, you'll be like, what the? And you'll have these moments throughout it, like holy, it's wonderful. And so now they've just started season 2, which picks up after
The Thing.
Yeah.
I know he's in jail. I think I know he's in jail.
I'll say
I don't.
Say
Yeah,
less.
say less.
Say less. Say less.
Okay.
But I am waiting. I've encouraged my wife to catch up because she.
I told Chris we had to. I listened to the two of you, and I was like, we have
It's
to
great.
watch
You will
this.
not regret
I feel like we missed a cultural moment,
Yeah.
and it is now time to make up for
Yeah.
that.
So now I've requested to my. I was like, can you get caught up on the Jinx?
Please
So
watch
that can we
this.
watch Jinx 2 together?
Oh,
Right?
That's so cute.
Is it cute?
Yeah. We watch all our TV together, so it really handcuffs us.
We don't. We can't because we're on different schedules.
It's really
And
hard.
she has a unique ability to kind of watch stuff,
but not really,
and keep up with it.
Oh.
I don't know how you do that.
I can't.
Like
I'm
I gotta
invested.
watch something.
But see, I like to binge, and Chris doesn't really like to binge, but I'll grab him along for the ride. Like on Friday, we watched Baby Reindeer, and we watched the first 2 episodes while we worked out, and he wanted to take a break. He was like, this feels like a heavy show. And I was like, no.
Yeah, see, I don't like.
We have to, and we finished it that night.
So you won.
Happy wife, happy life.
There you go. I don't like waiting on other people or because our schedules are so
But
different.
it's good because it holds me back. It's like a checks and balance. Otherwise, I would have no life, and I would just watch TV all the time.
So what episode of The Jinx are you on now?
We start 3 tonight.
Okay, I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
How do you balance that with the NFL draft? It's tough.
Actually, we probably won't watch anything tonight, and that's really tough because I'm going to New York tomorrow, so we're going to be separated. So then we'll have conversations of, like, I could watch something on the plane, and then he could watch the same amount of episodes. Like, we have Shogun right now and The Jinx.
How did you like Shogun?
I'm trying.
I
It's growing on me.
I started it,
Yeah.
and then I got busy, and then it was like 4 episodes in, and I was asking people that I trust, and they were like, it's great, but I don't really know what's going on, and I was like, I don't have time for that.
Thank you.
I don't have time to try
Having just finished The Sopranos, I'm not sure I was ready to embark on a full focused. It feels like a class. I also realized how little I know about Asian history. Like I was confused where we were, what was going on. Then I went down a rabbit hole of the Huns because I had a complete misremembrance of where the Huns were operating. Not Japan, obviously.
Stupid.
It's China.
Actually.
Oh, and actually,
some think it's Central
could've just
Europe,
stayed quiet.
and that they may have made it to China. Mulan made me believe fully.
That's what I was gonna say.
learned way too much of my Asian history in Mulan, and guess what? Disney movies do not adequately. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. I'm not sure the Huns were there. Wow. It's a little.
That's a lot.
Debate it. Historians debate. Anyway, I do like Shogun.
It's just
enough
when
that I
somebody
will
said,
stick with
"Man,
it.
I don't even know what's going on." These were like people like that should,
Yes.
and I was like, "Well, if you don't know what's going on, there's no
Yes.
chance I'm gonna know what's going on." So I ain't got time.
Nothing
for that.
but subtitles.
I'm not trying.
I like Shogun.
I just can't.
I'm into it.
Chris loves it.
I'm at a point in my life, Bennett. I ain't trying to think too much anymore. I'm tired of thinking. You know.
I'm tired of thinking.
I'm tired of
That's
thinking.
too damn
I just can't be watching a TV show having to think nonstop. You know.
Plus,
I get to a
like
point
to be
at night.
Okay,
where
there's
I
a
don't like to
difference.
think
There's a
anymore.
difference between having to think and being thoughtful.
Oh, I
like
enjoy
Baby
being thoughtful.
Reindeer made me thoughtful.
Hmm.
It's not an easy watch. It's tough.
Okay.
It makes your insides feel. Ugh.
I'll be
But
the
it was
judge of that.
interesting. But Shogun makes me feel like I need to take notes.
I don't.
to
That's
follow
like
along. If I need to take notes on the show, I'm struggling right now.
I just don't have
Yeah.
any interest in that.
Yeah.
Like I got that way with there was a show on USA Network, Robot, Mr. Robot, or
Oh,
something.
we made it through the first 3 seasons.
Same.
Did
and
it go 4?
It got whatever it went. I got up to the
I
last
got
season,
so lost.
and I said, you know what? This is too much
I can't
work.
do it anymore.
Because I would have to watch it and then go to Reddit and then read recaps, and it was like watch it for an hour and then study it for an hour.
I think
and
it
I
was
was
the
like, I don't
season,
have time for this.
It was the season 3 recap video that we found on YouTube, where after watching the recap video, we still had absolutely zero idea what we were embarking on this next season, and we're like, let's just tap out.
Couldn't do
Let's
it.
free ourselves.
Yeah.
Sam S. Smell.
I'd rather just paint my nails.
Paint my nails.
I'm gonna
braid each other's hair. Watch American Idol.
Well, I can't do all those things, but I think I can paint my nails.
That
I have
movie's
ugly
not
nails.
fun.
When you look at fingernails, do you notice guys' fingernails?
I can't talk about. I have horrible nails.
No, I know, but look at mine. Does that disgust you?
Do you bite your nails?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but I'm a nail biter too, so.
But like,
I have.
should I care about that?
I
Be honest
empathize
with me.
you. Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
I got to a point where somebody who I love very much and trust told me, you really need to do something about your nails because they're unprofessional. And like, not everyone can say that. Don't go around telling people their fingernails are gross because it's a very sensitive subject for some.
Is it?
But it was enough for me to buckle down and begin regularly getting my nails done, which I hate. I hate getting my nails done.
Well, maybe it's time for me to buckle.
It takes so much time.
Maybe it's time for me to buckle down a little bit.
Oh, you'd go crazy.
I might buckle down.
You can't use your hands. Damn. You're just stranded there.
I don't like that.
So I'll try to bring my AirPods to listen to a podcast.
One that doesn't freeze?
One that, I don't know, can't guarantee.
We can't guarantee that.
And
Hey.
as I look at you on my laptop,
It's
there's
outrageous.
Gary.
It's outrageous. Can't believe this is the life we're living. Hey, I appreciate you being here.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun in New York City.
Thanks. I can't wait.
How many days are you going to be there?
4.
What are you going to go do?
I'm going to see Jessica Lange in a play, and I'm really excited about it.
You should be.
It's called Mother Play. It opens this weekend. I'm obsessed with Jessica Lange. And I have a front row
who is
ticket.
it? She paints her nails.
Jessica Lange?
Yeah.
She's an actress.
I know who Jessica
Oh.
Lange is.
Sorry.
I
yeah,
said
she
who
does.
isn't.
Oh.
You said I'm obsessed with Jessica Lange. I said who isn't.
Who is? Yeah, she's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I had this period where I had a chance to go see her in a show like a decade ago, and I didn't go.
And that's
I
a
like
regret.
used money and work as an excuse, and it is truly. I don't have many regrets, but that is one of them, and so I'm going to see that. And then I have a ton of friends there, so trying to bounce around and make sure I see everyone.
Well, that's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm excited for you.
But don't tell my friends I'm more excited to see Jessica Lange.
They'll never know.
They'll never.
It froze right before that.
Ooh,
They'll
this
never
is
know.
safe. What else do we talk
Yeah,
about?
you can say anything you want to say.
That
Anything
story about when I was crazy.
Yeah,
to
say it now. Nobody will hear it. You can say it right now. You might be whispering it to a LeBron James bobblehead. No impact whatsoever. Hey, you have a
Hey, he plays tonight.
the king.
Yeah.
He's our
During
king.
the draft. How dare? Can't the NBA take one day off?
No. But they probably should because they get buried in television
Yeah,
ratings.
that's true.
They you know what? They actually probably should.
Yes.
But they didn't.
But they don't.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I know the NFL stole Christmas, and now it's a war for the test of time.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to just stand on
Stand on business.
You got to stand on business.
And understand everyone's going to be watching the draft tonight.
Yeah,
I'll try.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I got multiple screens. I'll put it all on. I'll have everything on.
Hope the Wi-Fi works.
I'm gonna paint my nails.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either. Bennett, I'm coming here with painted nails tomorrow in support of
Okay.
Caleb Williams. I don't want him to feel
Changing
alone.
the world.
I'm trying to change the world. I'm gonna change the world tonight. Probably not. Probably not. Probably gonna accomplish significantly less than that tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
It's tough.
Tough. All right.
Okay.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Hey,
You froze again.
of course I did. TJ Bamba. He's a guard from Villanova, and he's scheduled to visit the University of Memphis this weekend, according to Jason Munn's commercial appeal. Tell you a little bit more about him. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Are you a healthcare professional looking for a new experience? Look no further than Travel Nurses Inc. Our extensive network of healthcare facilities across the country offers you the opportunity to discover new destinations while pursuing your passion. We provide competitive compensation, flexible contracts, and dedicated assistance. So join our community of nurses and allied health professionals and start your next adventure today. Visit our website at travelnursesinc.com for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Looking for a full-court dining experience? Dribble over to Southland Casino Hotel, your ultimate gaming oasis in West Memphis. As a proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies, we're inviting you to savor the flavors at our 8 incredible dining venues. Ignite Steakhouse is where culinary excellence gets grilled. Indulge in charcoal-grilled steaks and farm-to-table favorites, perfectly paired with wine or handcrafted cocktails. Enjoy an all-access buffet experience at the kitchens, or revel in comfort food and Southern classics at the Fry House. If casual is more your thing, sample the innovative fare at Seasons Cafe, while Chairman's Bar and Charred Oak Bourbon Bar serve up cocktails and live concerts every week. For those on the go, The Grind is your one-stop coffee shop with gourmet brews and grab-and-go goodies. And of course, we can't forget the Sports Bar and Grill, where you can catch all the Grizzlies action with the best pub fare in town. At Southland Casino Hotel, we've got the perfect dining experience for you, so come on down and ignite your taste buds today.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
And we'll try to bounce through these pretty quickly, Big Bet Bennett, if you don't mind.
That sounds good.
Because, we're having technical difficulties today. And I am told that when this republishes later, it'll be free of all of the...
That is correct.
...the stops and starts. So there'll be a clean version of today's Gary Parrish Show posted on YouTube at some point later today.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, it is what it is. And I appreciate anybody still hanging out trying to watch this live. But obviously, I understand that's a difficult task. And I understand your frustration. We'll do the best we can. TJ Bamba, Villanova Guard.
Okay.
Reportedly set to visit the University of Memphis this weekend. Jason Munn's commercial bill among the people who had that. Can I interest you in a TJ Bamba? He just was a starter for a Villanova team that wasn't great, but he was a starter for a Villanova team and shot roughly 37% from three-point range.
Yeah, you can definitely interest me, although I will say it's a lot of guards.
They are loaded up.
A lot of guards.
So, just to recap, they've added Tyrese Hunter. That's a definite starter.
Yes.
They've added P.J. Haggerty.
You would think.
That's a
yeah, he
starter.
started for his previous team. You would think he's coming here to start. Yeah.
They've added Colby Rogers from Wichita State, and that is another player who just started 34 of 34 games, averaged 16 points for the Shockers. Now, that's a lot of points for a bad team.
Sure,
what does it really mean? But the way the transfer portal works, guys who start 34 games don't usually think they're going to not start 34 games at their new school. But then here comes TJ Bamba. So, I mean, you could play 4 guards, I guess. But if they were to add TJ Bamba, and it's not done, he's just visiting reportedly this weekend. But if they were to add TJ Bamba, at the very least, they would have 4 starter level, certainly at the AAC level, starter level guards to throw out there. And then, of course, got to see what happens with David Jones.
Yep.
And we need to see what happens with Jaden Quaintance, the 5-star high school prospect who is also reportedly scheduled to visit Memphis this weekend. Musa Cisse's name has been connected in some level. They've already gotten a commitment from Dane Danger out of Illinois. So I only rank every day, and it really is every day. I mean, it's every day I'm having to update the top 25 and 1. Every day I do the show, and then I go get lunch, and I update the top 25 and 1.
Yep.
Like you probably, if you see some bald guy sitting in a lunch spot with a computer out looking like he's ranking basketball teams, that's me.
That's you.
Every
Okay.
day. I was looking forward to the offseason, in part because I wouldn't have to update the top 25 and 1 every day anymore.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. Not so fast. I only do 26. The Tigers are not quite on my radar yet, but my friend and colleague John Rothstein, he ranks 45 teams. It's the Rothstein 45.
Yep.
He has Memphis in there right now at number 41.
Cool.
And that is with the assumption that David Jones is back. That's obviously still up in the air. But if you were to tell me right now, Memphis could run out there with a core of Tyrese Hunter, P.J. Haggerty, Kobe Rogers, TJ Bamba, David Jones, and I'd prefer Dane Danger not be my starting center. But, like, could you add Jaden Quaintance? Could you add Musa Cisse? Like, what? That's it's going to be right back to where we were last year. Like, hey, they got a lot of interesting pieces. They got a lot of interesting pieces.
Yep.
Now let's see if it can fit together. And for a while it did, and then, of course, it didn't. But I know there's been some studies done throughout this past season about teams that load up on transfers to this degree and how it didn't really go so well for most teams this past season that did that, Arkansas being among the most obvious ones. I believe the number was something along teams that enrolled 7 or more transfers in the same year. It was like those teams did not do too well. And so if you want to have that conversation about, is it really smart to rely this much on transfers all coming in at the same time? There's some data that suggests it's not the best way to do this. Player retention is very important. But here's the problem with having that conversation. It doesn't matter. They have to do this. This is the way Penny Hardaway will have to build his next team.
Right.
It's got to be built through the transfer portal. It doesn't matter if it's the smart way to do it, broadly speaking. This is where we're at on April 25th. You got to have a team next year, and it ain't going to be a team based off of a bunch of guys you just had last season. Most of those guys are gone. So you have to build the team the only way you can reasonably build a team right now, which is through the transfer portal, and it's going to be a lot of new faces and a lot of new names, and you ain't going to recognize most of them on opening night. But then they'll either become a competent basketball team or not. But the talent, it does seem to start to be coming together. We'll see where it goes, if they can secure a commitment or two this weekend, because they still got multiple open scholarships. Even if they were to add Quaintance and TJ Bamba, they would still have, in theory, multiple open scholarships. So there's still a lot of work to get done. But this roster there's talent there. There's real talent that's coming together, and there's 2 more talented guys scheduled to visit the University of Memphis this weekend.
Number 2.
Big things happening in Chicago right now. Not only are the Bears going to pick number 1 tonight, 2024 NFL Draft, yesterday after we got off the air, they published renderings of a new enclosed stadium they plan to build. They'd like to build right there on the shore next to Soldier Field. Enclosed stadium in Chicago, $5 billion. Look at that, Bennett. Doesn't that look
looks
nice?
like a $5 billion stadium.
Boy, that
looks like a spaceship.
It looks like a spaceship. You ever been to Soldier Field to Chicago?
Never.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
I know if all you do is watch cable news, particularly like certain channels of cable news, all you hear about Chicago is like, oh, it's a war zone, you know? And like I'm sure that's true in certain parts of Chicago. But like the parts of Chicago you would go to if you visited Chicago, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Chicago's incredible. And that obviously looks great. Some controversy about an enclosed stadium in Chicago, taking the weather out of it. You like that or you don't like that?
I mean, dude, I think we're going to get to the point where every NFL stadium's an enclosed stadium one day.
It would be stupid to not build one now.
Because if you ever want to host a Super Bowl they're not. They can't risk it. You can't risk a weather issues with a Super Bowl. So you got to play in an enclosed stadium.
You ready for another one?
Yeah.
And this just happened. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So they had it at Lincoln Financial Field.
They'll never do it again.
They've already said they'll never do it again.
Right.
Because it was freezing.
It was freezing. Yeah, you're not with big events like that. You just can't like a regular season NFL game where it's like torrential downpour or like crazy snow and stuff like that. Fine, but they're probably not going to do that for a Super Bowl, and that's why they're
100% not going to do that.
Never going to do that. Right.
So this is as simple. Like, should the Bears put a roof on their stadium or not? Do you ever want to host a Super Bowl?
You have to.
Then you have to. Do you ever want to host a WrestleMania? Then you have to.
Yep.
WWE came out after this last WrestleMania. You know what they said? We're still trying to figure. They said two things about the next WrestleMania, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
One is it will no longer compete with the Final Four, which is
smart. That was dumb.
I
didn't understand that.
I haven't been since I started rewatching wrestling. I haven't been able to watch the Saturday night one of WrestleMania ever because I'm at the Final Four.
Right.
And then Sunday nights for the past 2 years, like me and some of my bosses and coworkers, we had a party like in my hotel room.
Yeah.
And we watched Sunday night, but that comes at the expense of we don't get to go to the concerts that are at the Final Four.
Yeah.
So to move it at a Final Four weekend, I don't know if most people care, but it's great for me. Like I can now take my kids to WrestleMania. I couldn't as long as it's competing with Final Four. So I love that. But you know what they also said? And we are still trying to find the location for our next WrestleMania, but we can already tell you it will not be on the East Coast in an open-air stadium. We cannot do that again. That was a mistake. So that's over. Like Philadelphia just got WrestleMania, and it was amazing. They'll never have it again. Biggest WrestleMania they've ever had. That's what they say. They'll never have it again. So if you are now building a stadium, and I think we'll get there with every stadium, college, everywhere.
Like the new Titan Stadium's going to be enclosed.
Okay, So just if you want big events, you need the roof. All right, particularly in a place like Chicago. Secondly, if you want fans just to be comfortable, you need the roof in a place like Chicago. Do you know how many fans, how many people will not, at some point this football season, there will be people who make both of these decisions. There will be somebody who will say, I'm not going to go to Tiger football today because it's just too hot. Somebody's going to say that this year.
Right.
And that will never stop. There will be days where you will have access to a football game and you'll say, I would go, but I'm not gonna because it's too hot. And to the contrary, or on the other side of that coin, there will be people this year who will say, I would love to go to this football game, and I could, but it's too cold. It's raining. It's icy. It's snowy. You put a roof on, you don't have any of that anymore. It's just like, it would be financially nonsensical to invest billions of dollars in a football stadium in the year 2024 and not put a roof on it.
Right.
Or at the very least, a retractable roof.
Yeah.
You got to be able to close it when you need to close it. So that's what they're going to do. $5 billion, roughly, total cost. And the Bears have said they're willing to put in excess of $2 billion. But the taxpayers and other public money is going to have to cover the rest of it. So that's the conversation we've been having in this market as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming, I haven't seen this because I ain't looked for it, but I imagine there is a Grizzlies fan somewhere who would maybe, if you're following this stuff and you follow the Grizzlies situation and the city of Memphis situation, then you read this and you go, hold up. So the Bears are going to throw in more than $2 billion of their own money to build this? And the Grizzlies more or less need the city to cover everything or the state to cover everything? They're not really going to throw, if the Bears are willing to throw in more than $2 billion of their own money, why shouldn't the Grizzlies be willing to throw in a significant amount of money of their own to make this thing happen? And I hear you, but do you understand the difference? Do you know what the difference is?
What?
The difference is the city of Chicago, you know what they could tell the Bears? Yeah, we're not paying for this whole thing. Because you know why they can tell the Bears that? You know what the Bears will never do?
Leave Chicago.
Can't leave Chicago.
Right.
You can't leave Chicago.
Right.
It's one of the biggest cities in America. That market is where the money is. So you can't leave Chicago. Because you know what the city of Chicago could tell the Bears? Oh, you can leave it if you want to, but where are you going? You're going to voluntarily leave Chicago to go to a smaller market over $2 billion? That math won't math over an extended period of time. So they know you won't leave. So they don't have to cater to you, do everything you need them to do. Because where are you going? Same things in New York, LA, Chicago. Those are places where the local governments can say, we're not paying for all this because you're not leaving.
Right.
You need us. It's a situation where when that's the dynamic, Chicago, New York, LA, you need us just as much as we need you.
Right.
But when you get to small market NBA franchises like this one, this is just the truth. Robert Parra doesn't need Memphis as much as Memphis needs Robert Parra. That's just a fact. Robert Parra could make more money somewhere else with this franchise. Thank God, by all accounts, he's not interested in doing that, right? But that's why you can't play hardball with the Grizzlies on this if you're the city of Memphis. Because if you really try to draw a line in the sand with them, we're not paying for all of this or most of this. Well, then we'll just leave. Somebody will pay for all of this. And so we'll just leave. And you can't go down that path. But in Chicago, you can tell the Bears, you got to pay for some of this because you ain't leaving. And they're not. So that's maybe it's not something everybody, when they contrast these stories, is thinking about. But if you were trying to figure out why the Bears are willing to throw so much money at this and the Grizzlies won't throw anything close to that much money to this, it's because the Bears have to and the Grizzlies don't. Because one of these franchises is in Chicago and the other one's in Memphis. Either way, it looks nice, doesn't it?
Looks great.
It looks great. I'm happy for him.
Number 3.
Arena Shake. Supermodel.
Yep. Bradley's ex-girlfriend.
They share a child.
Oh, they do. That's right. They do share
a child. They're co-parenting.
Okay, good.
And so he's now dating Gigi Hadid, Bradley Cooper.
They're going strong.
Real strong.
Look at them.
They went on a double date. Did you see who they went on a double date with?
Who?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
That's some star power.
Bradley Cooper, Gigi Hadid, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Star power.
Man, those must have been interesting conversations.
Probably the most interesting.
Yeah, because you got like so many different. You got star athlete, star actor, star musician, star model. That's
what more do you want?
Yeah, dude. That's got to be an interesting conversation.
Probably the most interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So Arena Shake. Now she shares a child with Bradley Cooper, and she's single now though. She had the little,
I don't know.
She hung out with Tom Brady for a little while.
Oh, that's right. She sure did. Yep.
Before that, Kanye West.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. She's previously dated Cristiano Ronaldo.
Damn.
So what she's done now, reportedly, is she has put together a possible boyfriends list. Can you imagine?
Being able to do that?
Yeah, just imagine. Let's just stop there for a second. Appreciate that this woman has put together a possible boyfriend list. Like she actually, according to the reports, has a list. And these are the people I would consider dating. All right? And Tom Cruise is on it. 61-year-old Tom Cruise is on the list.
How about that?
You got to feel great if you're Tom Cruise, don't you?
He's still an action star.
Maybe the biggest? Still maybe the biggest? I mean, not...
No, he's not the biggest.
Well, who is?
The biggest action star?
Right now.
Oh, I mean, like Chris Hemsworth. I don't know.
Chris Hemsworth opens a movie tomorrow and Tom Cruise opens a movie tomorrow. Who's bigger?
I think it depends on the movie.
No, it doesn't.
I think it depends on the movie.
Tom Cruise really might. I have no idea. But it feels like Tom Cruise. He's not? Then who is? Chris Hemsworth? I can't even name a Chris Hemsworth movie outside of the Marvel stuff. Did he do the Marvel stuff?
He did. He was Thor.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I know.
Okay. I agree. You're right. You're right. Tom Cruise movie would probably do better. It's Tom Cruise.
It's Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And now he's on the possible boyfriend list for Arena Shake.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. All right. So now what do you do if you're Tom Cruise? How do you do? What do you think your next step is?
Probably reach out.
I'd reach out.
Probably reach out.
This feels a little bit like
have you seen Top Gun?
This feels a little bit like the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing. Like it's just sort of been put out into the universe now that Arena Shake might be interested in dating Tom Cruise. So if you're Tom Cruise, you're like, well, that sounds fun. You know, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that then. That's what Taylor Swift did.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce just put it out into the world. He just said, man, I sure would like to meet Taylor Swift. And she was like, well, he's tall and good looking. I guess we'll do this. Now, you know, now they're on a double date with Bradley Cooper and Gigi Hadid. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you might look at Arena Shake and go, it takes quite a bit of gumption to put together a possible boyfriends list and like have Tom Cruise on it. Like, yeah, I'll date Tom Cruise, I guess, and a few other fellas. But if you're not on this list, don't even bother text messaging me. All right? And according to sources close to Arena Shake, you know what she says? To make the list, you know what you got to be on Arena Shake's possible boyfriends list? This is what I read. You know what you got to be? You have to be wealthy, famous, and great looking.
Okay.
All those things.
Yeah.
So like Tom
That checks.
Sandoval, great looking, but not wealthy.
No.
Not that kind of wealthy.
Not that kind of wealth.
Not Tom Brady, Ronaldo, Kanye wealthy. Bradley Cooper wealthy. All right? So he can't check that box. Good looking. We'd agree. Tom Sandoval's good looking. You can say that.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
Good looking fella. But he's not wealthy enough, right? He can't make the possible boyfriends list.
Yeah.
But Tom Cruise, famous, get out of here. Wealthy, come on. And maybe not good looking for a 30-year-old, but hella good looking for a 61-year-old.
Oh yeah, he's like the best looking 61-year-old.
Like one of them.
Yeah.
I'm
Now there's a lot of stuff.
yeah, I mean, done
involved.
work, but
He's
like,
kinda
you know,
looking,
I don't care. Do you care? I don't care when people do work. I just look at people. I don't get caught up on that stuff. You know what I do? I look at people and I go, they look nice.
Hey, I'd get some work done if I could afford it.
Yeah. What would you like to get done if you could do one thing?
Oh, might get my nose fixed.
What's wrong with your nose, you think?
It's got a little bump right here.
Yeah, I never really noticed that.
Do you see it now? It's got a little bump. It's kind of crooked.
What happened?
I don't know. I've had it for most of my life.
Crooked nose.
Yeah.
Crooked nose syndrome.
The doctor said that it could have happened like when I was born, actually.
You're born with a crooked nose.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could look into getting that fixed for you.
Yeah.
I'd get a tummy tuck, I think. I wouldn't mind getting a tummy tuck. Might get my butt lifted.
I might get, yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to have an awesome butt?
Yeah, I'd like a nice butt.
Except you never see your own butt. You ever think about that?
But other people stare at it.
But other people stare at it.
Yeah. I'd like a nice butt.
I really don't even know what my butt looks like.
Mine sucks.
You think yours sucks?
Yeah.
I think mine probably sucks, but I don't even know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting a nice butt.
I'd like a nice butt too.
Yeah.
That
I wouldn't mind having
that's
a nice
the one.
butt.
That's
tummy
the one.
tuck.
I want a nice butt.
I would tummy tuck and a nice butt, and maybe do something with my chin. I don't know if you
Okay.
ever noticed my chin. I don't really have one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really like.
I had to
And it's
get-
really bad from this angle because look, I don't really have a
Get a
chin.
little shave.
I just don't really have a. Yeah, I
A
would
little
shave
shave.
it. I would shave, possibly cut my throat. I'd come as close to slashing my throat as you could do without actually slashing your throat.
Okay.
Just take some off. Feel like yeah. So when I see Tom Cruise, I don't go, oh look, he got work done. I go, Tom Cruise looks good for a man
Tom
his age.
Cruise looks good. Yeah.
That's the way I think you should.
Yep.
That's the way I think you should. So I wish him luck. If he wants to date Arena Shake, I wish
Good
him
luck,
luck.
Tom.
You know, because that must be tough for her. Tom Brady became less interested in you, it appears, and your the father of your child is running around with Gigi Hadid and Taylor Swift. Arena Shake's probably feeling a little like she got to get going a little bit. You know,
for sure.
it's time for her to step. You know, she got to get something. She got to get something in the works. And the reports are that she's on it. She's doing the best she can.
Good.
Give her a minute. Let's see where this goes. Just give her a minute.
Number 4.
Number 4, reigning NL Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell. Turn our attention to baseball. On the injured list, he's got an adductor strain.
I
Another
won't
pitcher.
stop watering. Golly.
No, you all right, Bennett?
Yes, I get my eye. I guess it's allergies. Like my stupid eye won't stop watering.
Plus your
And
nose
so I
is-
keep touching my eye. It's like something's happening.
Nose is crooked as shit, too.
I know.
What's going on with you today?
I don't know.
Crooked ass nose. Eyes can't stop watering. Beard. It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Another pitcher on the injured list, Blake Snell, reigning NL Cy Young Award winner. And do you realize even before he had to go on the injured list, he got like scratched just a few hours before yesterday's game with the Mets. Mets beat him to avoid the sweep. Mets win. get scratched, he had been terrible. Have you noticed Blake Snell?
I mean, he's been playing a long time, dude. I was always kind of, I mean, I know he's the reigning Cy Young winner, but
he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
Eventually.
And the reigning NL Cy Young Award winner. And he signed late, which might have something to do with this.
That's a good point.
He signed late,
Yeah.
but he did sign 2 years, $62 million. Nobody wanted to invest a lot of years in him. For like, first off, he pitches 5 innings at a time. All right?
Right.
He pitches 5 innings at a time. But in those 5 innings, he has consistently been great. That's how you become a 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what he was before he got scratched yesterday?
3
starts. 0-3, 11.57 ERA. 0-3, 11.57 ERA. Damn. He's given up 18 hits in only 11 2/3 innings. Been bad.
Yeah.
And now he's hurt. On average, MLB players who have this injury miss 29 days. So they only put him on the 15-day injured list, but based on history, there's no scenario, no realistic scenario where he's back in 15 days. So if you're the Giants, that's tough.
Yeah.
You go out and spend $30+ million a year on a starting pitcher. He goes 0-3 with 11.57 ERA and then gets shut down for probably a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way you want these signings to go.
That's tough.
That's
Yeah,
tough. Feel bad for him. I hope he gets things. Hope he gets things straight.
Number 5.
We'll stay with baseball.
Okay.
Mike Trout homered again yesterday. That's his 10th of the season.
Didn't matter.
10th of the season. So he's leading the major leagues in homers. But his team is already 5 games below 500. Struggling once again. This is just going to be his career, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is it's kind of crazy. This is the second series that the Orioles have played against the Angels early in this season. And in both series, he has hit a home run to give them the lead, and the Orioles have won the game.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
And his team sucks.
Yeah. Like,
always.
and that's what's funny about that. Like, it's funny you bring this up because when it happened, and I'd already seen it happen once this season, but when it happened yesterday, I'm just like, okay, it means I'm not worried at all because this is exactly what happens. He'll hit a home run, but that team will have no chance of winning the game.
I know not everybody follows baseball, but just understand this guy is going to go down in history
One of the greats.
as one of the all-time great baseball players, one of the all-time great hitters of all time. He is 32 years old. This is year 14 in the big leagues. He made his Major League Baseball debut when he was 19 years old.
All with the Angels, right?
All with the Angels.
Yep.
He was a first-round pick in 2009 by the Angels. Got brought, flew through the minors. Played in Arkansas, AAA, I believe. And then gets called up at 19. Now he's 32. He's a 3-time MVP. 3-time MVP. He's won Silver Slugger Award 9 different times. He's an 11-time All-Star. Again, one of the greatest players of all time. Do you know how many postseason games he's played in his career? The total number of postseason games, playoff games, Mike Trout has participated in his now 14 years in Major League Baseball. The previous 13, of course, resulting in, postseason opportunities.
I'll say 7.
3.
Damn.
He's played 3 postseason games ever. And you know what his record is in those games?
0-3.
They got swept
Yeah.
by the Royals in 2014. Lost all 3 games, got swept. That is the extent of Mike Trout's postseason career. That's it.
Yikes.
That was 2014. In 2015, they went 85-77, the Angels did, but missed the playoffs. Since then, 8 straight losing seasons. They're now on their way to their 9th straight losing season. And in the previous 6 years, they happen to have, arguably, the 2 best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 6 straight losing seasons with the 2 best players in the world.
Crazy.
Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, which just sort of, shows you how difficult it is to have an impact in baseball relative to, say, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have the 2 best players in the world in basketball, you have a championship contender, period, right? You just do. Like if there was a team right now with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic, that team would be, there's no scenario where that team misses the playoffs. 0% chance. If those two players are healthy, that's all you need to be at least good, very good. In Major League Baseball, you can have the two best players in the world. Doesn't matter. They 6 straight losing seasons. How about this? In that span of 6 years, you had Shohei Ohtani winning Rookie of the Year 1 year, MVP 2 other years, and Mike Trout winning MVP 1 year in there. 2 before Ohtani even got there. Still nothing. They just win absolutely nothing. Think about this. I told you Mike Trout's a 3-time MVP. Guess who else is? Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Both of them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me telling you that at the age of 32, Magic Johnson, 3-time MVP, had only played in 3 playoff games ever?
Oh, that's crazy.
Or Larry Bird had only played in 3 playoff games ever? That's the Mike Trout experience that we're getting. So it just stinks. I don't know why he's never asked for a trade, or they've never just said, we feel sorry for you, you got to go. We got to get you out of here. He might just like living in Southern California with hundreds of millions of dollars. But it just seems like such a waste. Playing on the West Coast in a terrible stadium for a terrible franchise, just completely in the dark relative to the stardom that he would enjoy if he played in Chicago or played in New York, or honestly just played in St. Louis or Atlanta or any place where baseball matters. He'd play in a place, at least for a franchise, in a place where it just doesn't matter. I went there a couple of summers ago. Terrible. Worst baseball stadium I've ever been in. And they got a terrible team, and they're wasting one of the all-time greats. Makes me sad, Bennett.
Yeah, that sucks.
Sorry about your nose.
Oh, that's all good.
All right. Be back with GP's carryout.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
It's more fun to be there live to see the Memphis Grizzlies hit the court all season long. From the electricity in FedEx Forum to the highlight reel plays, there's nothing quite like Grizzlies basketball. As the official marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies, Ticketmaster gets you in with a huge selection of seats. So get off the couch and into the stands while you still can. Score tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough studio. Once again, apologize if you're watching live for the, the stops and starts. We're having, clearly, it's been going on all morning. Jessica Benson Show with C.J. Hurd, also interrupted by the constant stops and starts. But Bennett tells me, and I'm going to trust him. And I don't know if it's safe to trust a man with a crooked nose. I've heard
Yep.
Reasonable minds could disagree on that.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's crooked, because I haven't. Well, no, that'd be long.
Pinocchio.
It's Pinocchio. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a crooked nose mean?
You tell me.
I don't know.
You tell me.
I don't know.
See? So, I don't know if you could reasonably trust a man with a crooked nose, but I'm doing that today. Bennett says when this is uploaded later, it'll be a smooth sailing.
I think so.
I don't know. I
can't pretend to know.
The only
either.
thing I do here is this.
So.
This is all I do. This is right here. I don't know how to do anything else. And I guess you could debate whether I know how to do this, right? But this is the only thing I do.
Yep.
So whenever there's technical difficulties or anything else going on, I'm as capable of fixing it as anybody watching right now is.
Yeah.
All right? But Bennett tells me it's going to be okay later. So I'm going to trust you. I feel like I should be able to trust you.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
All right, let's do GP's carry-on.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but I think the most interesting thing is Bennett has disclosed for the first time ever, he might like to, if
Get a nose job?
And a butt job. If money grew on trees.
Yep.
If I handed you $50,000 right now, would you actually, and I said, you can only have this money
for surgery.
Would you really get your nose and butt fixed?
Yeah.
I know. Like, what would be wrong with having an awesome nose and an awesome butt?
I think that'd be cool.
It would be cool.
I think that'd be cool.
It would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Think about.
I might get rid of these little.
I mean,
might make this beard a little more full.
I know people, they will look at the Kardashians, because every Kardashian and Jenner looks better today than they looked 10 years ago.
That's true.
All right? Every one of them. I think Kendall's a natural beauty for the most part.
Yeah.
She's like a supermodel for a reason. The rest of them, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
But when I look at them, I don't ever look at Kendall Jenner and go,
Kylie.
I don't ever look at Kylie and go, my first thought is never, oh my God, look at all the work she's had done. My first thought is always, okay, Kylie Jenner.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
I
agree with that.
I don't think, these women are all wealthy, super wealthy, and they've decided I'm going to try to make myself look the way I would like to look, feel better about myself. Why is that a bad thing?
I don't think
you
it is.
have admitted you would do the same thing.
I would.
You're basically like if the Kardashians had less disposable income. That's you. You're like a Kardashian with less disposable income.
That's right.
I would support you if you did it.
Thanks.
Yeah. But I know you notice your nose every time you look in the mirror. I'm just telling you as a friend. I've never noticed your nose being crooked.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
I've never looked at it.
It's not really as great. It's just like a little bump right here.
I've just never really, I'm not going to pretend I stare at you that often.
I have had nose surgery. I've had a turbinectomy.
What went into that, you think?
They're trying to realign it to make it so I could breathe better out of my nose.
What happened to your nose? What did you do to your nose?
I don't know. I think it was either.
It was a coke problem in college.
No, I don't. No, that was not it.
A habit.
That doesn't rearrange your nose. Well, I guess it can.
Buddy.
I guess it can. It didn't rearrange my nose.
I actually know people who had to have nose surgery because
really?
They damaged their nose so much from cocaine.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, well that's not why mine's damaged.
Not me.
No.
My nose is clean.
No, the doctor said it either happened during birth, and I've never broken it to my knowledge, but I mean I have gotten hit so hard in sports where I've gotten nosebleeds, and he said that could have been it. But I never it was never broken just. So I don't know.
Bennett, you've had a hard life.
No, I haven't.
You've really had a struggle through this life,
Yeah.
I'm sure people look at you and they're like, oh, he must have had it easy.
No.
But it's been hard.
Yep.
Well, you know what? I don't want you to feel self-conscious about your nose. It looks fine to me.
Thanks, man.
There's some other stuff we could talk about, but the nose is good.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good.
What's today's biggest game?
I think I want to take you to Crypto.com.
Let's go there.
I want to take you out to Crypto.com.
Take me there.
Nuggets, Lakers, Game 3, Western Conference Playoffs, 9 o'clock tip, TNT. I'm excited for tonight because Monday night was so good.
Yes.
And now we get all this again.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
I mean, nobody cares about the Cavs and Magic. F them. Put them on NBA TV. But a 6:30 Knicks.
Oh, yeah. They're on NBA TV.
Of course they are. They'll never get off NBA TV.
No.
Buddy, they should just set up shop
Yeah.
over at NBA TV because that's where you are till this thing's over. You're going to live on NBA TV for a little while.
Yep.
You're lucky we can't put you on True TV because we would if we could. 6:30 Knicks Sixers followed by Nuggets Lakers.
I'm in.
Our king?
Yep.
Put the kids to bed and settle down with a king?
Yep.
I'm excited about tonight.
I'm excited too.
Lakers are a 1.5-point favorite.
Okay.
The total is 216.5. Your record's now 105, 115, and 4. You're down 22.5 units. That's not great. But, hey, maybe tonight's your night.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, it's a big game, Bennett.
It's a huge game.
Because if our king can get a victory, then we'll come in here tomorrow and we'll try to talk ourselves into it a little bit.
I want to talk myself into it.
I'd like to talk myself into it. But
I want to talk myself into it
But
too.
if the king loses tonight, we ain't gonna be able to talk ourselves into anything. It'll be over. Another king season in the books.
Yep.
What do you think?
I really want to talk myself into it too.
I do too.
Yeah, I do. So I'll take the Nuggets.
Bennett.
Yeah. I'll take the Nuggets.
He's right there.
I'll take the Nuggets.
LeBron James is right there.
Yeah, this is just
You're picking against LeBron James right in front of LeBron James.
I don't want to pick against him. The reason I'm doing this is because everything in my soul is screaming, dude, just take the Lakers. You want them to win. You're rooting for them tonight. Like they've been competitive in these last 2 games. Like it's take them, take the Lakers. That's why I can't take them because of everything that's happening with these picks. Like it is. Everything in my being is telling me to take the Lakers.
I respect my king too much to pick against him publicly.
Everything in my being is telling me to take the Lakers. That's why I feel like I have to take the Nuggets to try to get a win.
I usually root for you. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. I'll be rooting for our king.
Yep.
And
I'll take the Nuggets.
Give me a age 39 LeBron James triple-double and a victory. I'll come in here rocking a LeBron shirt tomorrow. I'm going to support our king.
I am too, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It's too bad.
Well, I mean, it probably will. Who am I kidding?
Who knows? Who could tell?
Yeah.
Nuggets Lakers 9 o'clock. Bennett says take the Nuggets plus the 1.5. I guess when you take the best team in the West as an underdog, maybe you got to do that.
Yeah.
That's what Bennett's doing. We'll see how it goes.
What are we watching on TV?
Do you know what the number 1 movie on Netflix is right now? Oh, buddy, I watch Netflix commercials now. I did it again last night.
The number 1 movie on Netflix.
Right now, right in this moment, or at least this moment 2 hours ago when I checked.
No idea.
Anything But You, starring our friend Sydney
Oh, yeah,
Sweeney.
that just
Have
dropped
you watched
on there.
it yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so what does this say about us? We need to talk. All right?
Oh, what? I'll watch it.
But you love Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I like Sydney.
Everybody does.
Yeah,
except for
she's
that
great.
one old producer who was trashing her for some reason. Weird. Weirder than Caleb Williams. Okay, now we've established that. Now I need you to answer this. Tell me everything you've ever watched Sydney Sweeney in.
Euphoria.
Of course.
The White Lotus.
Yep.
What else was she in?
Handmaid's Tale when she was young.
She was in Handmaid's Tale. I've seen that. That's all I got.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now,
I want to see her new movie, Immaculate, the horror movie.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be good.
So somebody's watching her because she's the number 1 movie on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
But why are we not? Are we not taking this seriously?
Okay, I didn't know that movie was on Netflix, or I knew that it had just dropped on Netflix, or was about to. So
I'm not taking this seriously.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I'll watch it too.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I just feel like if we're gonna, I just feel like I should support her work. Otherwise, I'm just being a creep. You know?
Right.
If all you're doing is looking at pictures but not supporting her work, you're just being a creep, right?
Yep.
Let's support her work.
Yeah, let's support her work.
I'm gonna support her work. Anything But You is on Netflix right now.
What's the best thing we've read?
Bill Plaschke, LA Times, had a nice column posted last night about Reggie Bush getting his Heisman Trophy back. And Plaschke, like the rest of the world, is like, hey, we're glad he got it back. He deserves it. Whatever. But let's stop running victory laps. Like, this guy did ruin USC football.
Damn.
By taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in violation of, at the time, NCAA rules. They lost scholarships, vacated stuff. Pete Carroll bounces to Seattle. The program has quite literally never been the same since Reggie Bush got them in trouble. So Plaschke's point is, we're happy for Reggie Bush. He'll probably lead the team out of the tunnel in the season opener, and that'll be an amazing scene at the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
But just because they gave him his Heisman Trophy back doesn't mean he didn't do all this stuff that got that program really put in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
So, maybe just calm down a little bit. Thought it was a good column. Probably not too popular with USC fans.
Probably not.
But I thought it was well stated. If you haven't read it yet, go check it out. LA Times.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Friday. Oh, man, it's going to be great. Looking back at night one of the NFL draft. Looking back at an NBA playoff triple header. I can't wait.
Let's go.
Fridays are my favorite day.
Let's go.
You never know when the food truck's going to be right out there, too.
I think they'll be back soon. I think that's coming back. Yeah, I think that's going to be coming back soon.
I can't wait for that.
Me either.
Man, what a time to be alive, huh?
Love it.
What a time to be alive. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.